Kendo Podcast episode 176. In this episode, I want to talk about what is Kendo. Kendo Podcast by Hiro Mafuji from Kendo-Guide.com. Thank you for listening. This podcast is about Japanese martial arts Kendo for Kendo lovers and supported by Kendo enthusiasts through Patreon.com. Thank you for your support, guys. Please visit Kendo-Guide.com for more Kendo information and how to support Kendo-Guide.com. Kendo Podcast episode 176. Welcome to this. That was the other way around. I'm sorry about that. Okay, before I get into the what is Kendo, I want to just promote new videos. Some of them are not new, but newly issued again. So Kendo Basics series, Kendo Basics 1, 2, 3, and a set of those three DVDs are available at Amazon.com and Vimeo.com, and also Kendo-Guide for the intermediate is available on Vimeo.com. So if you want to check them out, please visit Kendo-Guide.com, Kendo-Guide.com / I think it's Kendo Guide video. I will have a link to the page, so please click on that link. Let me figure out what is a Kendo Guide. So if you go to Kendo-Guide.com, and there is a link to videos at the top of the menu, at the very top of the page, and which is Kendo-Guide-videos.html. So if you go there, you can see what these videos are all about. Okay, now this is long story short, some people wanted to have DVD of Kendo Basics, so I decided to do this through Amazon.com. But also, I need to upgrade my video camera, so this is a fundraising for that too. So if you even when you don't need them, please recommend those videos. If you happen to know someone who needs to improve their Kendo, please recommend this video as well. Now, so what is Kendo? Now, I'm not going to talk about concept. I've been practicing Kendo. This, for like 30 more than. When did I start? When I was 7. So almost. I'm 40, almost 40 years. I've been doing Kendo almost 40 years. And then I realized at the moment I've been working on about year or two about sen. Sen no sen and sen. How I can take the initiative. Well, it is once, a lot of sensei strikes you before even you strike. I mean, before even you, your body moves. It's almost like they know you're coming, right? And then I understand, they are, of course, more experienced. But, if only experience is required, it doesn't matter how. So what about methodology? How did they do that? How did they achieve that? Sen movement before even you get into movement. Why can they strike? Now, of course, theoretically, I can kind of understand that, but without them knowing that I'm gonna strike, how can I strike them? That has been my issue, not issue, kind of assignment to figure out. I just want to share what I have figured that out. So in Kendo, just what I think it is, all right? I'm not saying I'm right, all right? So just make sure you don't just, interpret this into, he thinks, at the moment, everyone thinks something different. At the moment, as a result of I've been working on this one thing, I'm going to share my findings, okay? That's all. So if Kendo, basically, your opponent and you are, we want to strike, right? We want to strike. So that's the start. We want to strike, so we build up this tension as we get close to your striking distance. Now, sensei, like I said, looks like that you're going for it, right? Either men or either kote or whatever. They know that you're coming. And then why is it? Is it because experience? Like I said, probably the experience that as a result of working on the sen. So there should be a methodology, right? And I've been talking about, the Kendo-Guide for the intermediate. I had this series. Now it's available on Vimeo as well with a written text PDF file, written instructions. You can download those written instructions once you purchase this. But I've been, look at the requirements for each downgrade. For example, Shodan, Nidan, Sandan. You really have to work on your Kendo basics, and the techniques. Kendo basics is if you cannot perform Kiken Taiuchi, you won't be able to pass Shodan, Nidan, Sandan, of course. That's a base. It doesn't. Basics doesn't mean always big. Okay. So it's a technique. You learned basics, all right, and then now you know techniques, which is smaller techniques as well. So you have to show that. If you just show only big strikes, there you can't really, it's the same as Ikkyu, because Ikkyu requires big strikes. Okay, and then you move on to, okay, I have done it. And then now I have some techniques based on these good strikes, big basic strikes. So that is required for Dan exams, especially, and then that's the Shodan is the first Dan exam you take. So now you have to move on to very basics to applied basics, which is smaller techniques. And then you have to work on shikake waza, which is you take the initiative. You take a step forward into your striking distance and strike. Okay, this is the basic technique that you have to learn, right? And then that turns into degashira. Okay, degashira technique, which is you strike your opponent when your opponent is just about to strike you. Okay, so just about to move into their striking motion. And then you get them, right? So that is called degashira waza. Maybe you heard of debana men or debana kote. Debana is same as degashira. Okay, so they're just about to move to strike you. So that is the moment you execute your strike. So that turned. So if you cannot do shikake waza, you cannot really do debana waza. Okay, so that's how it works. And then after that, you learn counterattacks for 4th dan and 5th dan. Okay, so that's the kind of if you think these are milestones, you have to work on these things in order for you to pass Shodan, Nidan, Sandan, Yondan, Godan. Okay, Yondan, Godan, you really need to show that you understand some type of semi as well, because you have to have counterattack. Okay, so, but anyway, so it's shikake waza. Right, shikake waza and degashirame. So they know, they get you before they are before you actually move into your action to strike, right? So I thought this is a degashira, right? Degashira, but it's higher level of degashira. It's not because you take a step forward and move into the action of strike. They get you kind of your mind, it's not action because it's mind, your head, in your heart, wherever it is. You're thinking to strike you and then just about to move some kind of muscles, kind of your brain sends signal, right, to your muscles. But at that moment, it looks like they hit you, So I've been working on that. And of course, you have to, you have to do it in training, in drill. In drill, it's easier because you know that your opponent is coming for, let's say, your men. Okay, so you can work on degashira men or debana men or degashira kote or debana kote. Okay, so now you start working on that. Now, next one is you have to sense that signal from the brain to the muscles. When they send this signal, you get them. All right, how the bloody can do it? How can you do it? Practice. This is a kind of guessing work. If you and then guessing work also, I should say, distance as well. A certain distance, you can feel the tension between you and your opponent. The tension must be built there. Okay? And if you're going against a sensei, this is another story, different kind of story. But you have to have this, you can feel the tension, right? If this tension hit the peak, it will explode. Something will happen. So that moment, before this, who's going to break this tension? Who's going to explode? Who's going to push the switch? All right, that is the moment. So, in other words, your opponent is just about to push that switch to launch their technique. You get them. All right, so don't let them push the switch. That is the higher level of debana men or debana waza, I think. So I've been working on that, and I think that was a very good analogy. I think I have to give myself a compliment about that. So it's like, if they push the switch, it may be too. Probably you can, let's say, in the war missiles, right? You have these missiles to hit the missiles who coming into your country, right? I don't know what it is called. So just to protect your countries, the missiles is already launched. So you have to shoot it down before they hit you, right? So that is kind of aimen, So no one gets hurt, but it's already launched, physically launched. But if you can stop them before they push the switch, that's the another level, Just like if you do karate or something, those shooting, punching, and kicking stuff. Let's say if someone, okay, if you're fighting, you're thinking, okay, I am going to throw a punch right now, but someone is, showing their hand, palm, right in front of your face. Okay, that will stop you from launching a punch. Just like Bruce Lee, he used to do that in a movie, in those movies. He showed his palm. He put his hands right in front of their opponent's eyes, and so they can't see, right? If you can do it when your brain, when your opponent's brain, okay, starting to sense signal, you can stop them. I think that is at the moment. At the moment, that's how I think. That's what they're doing. So of course, if it's a guessing work, but this guessing work, you have to make it from guessing work to absolute timing. So it's what you have to start guessing. It's the same thing for you. If you're learning Debanamaza, the first step is guessing work. Is he coming? And then when your guess was right, you can get them. But when your guess was wrong, of course, you might get hit. So the process of training is to accurate your guessing work, right? So you can make guessing from guessing to assurance. Is that right word? So you have to make sure that your guessing work is almost 100% correct. So that's physical guesswork. And then you have to turn into it. Once you get to a certain level, your guessing work should be, not physical, but your opponent's sending signal, and then you can get them. So, but it's still, you cannot increase the guessing, the what do you call it? The rate of the correctness of your guessing work if you just passively observing your opponent, right? So what higher grade holders do is they are making that happen. So you don't have to guess, because they're going to launch, because you make them. You make the situation that they have to launch something, right? That is, control. You control your maneuver. You're maneuvering your opponent. So that's why their guess is not guess anymore. They are making that happen so they can get you almost 100%. So I think that's what they are doing. And to make them do what you want to make them, you have to, of course, behave in certain ways, right? Of course, that your opponent is getting messages from you by through your shinai, how you move your shinai. That's one. And then where you're looking at, that's two. But it's very hard to guess only looking into their eyes. Sometimes it's easier, if when their eyes are wide open, they're doing something. So it's kind of sometimes it's a good information just looking at your opponent's eyes, but shinai movements and distance, how they move in, how they come in, and how they are feeling the tension, and then you can feel they are ready or not, right? So when they get ready, what can you do? That is another thing. Are you ready enough so you can counterattack, or you can actually get them before they launch their strike, or before they push the button? So I think this is very interesting finding. I mean, theoretically, that's what we've been learning. This is what you should be doing. But you actually, actually start feeling it, through a lot of, through, not a drill. Unfortunately, I can't do the drill, but through Jigeko, I've been working on this one thing. So, just you have to change the way you stand. You have to maybe you have to change the way you stand. Maybe you have to change the distance. Maybe you have to change the timing. You might have to change a lot of things, but you work on one by one, and then probably you're gonna start feeling what when you should be launching. You're gonna get hit. I will guarantee you, because I've been getting hit a lot. Because I'm trying to change something, but that is a part of process. Don't worry. So you're working for yourself. You are working on your Kendo, and that is because you want to. You have a goal. You have your ideal Kendo, and you have to work towards it. So you have to do something about it, and then by getting hit, oh, this is not working. Something is wrong. So you have to change something. Or maybe you have to change the mindset. We don't know, but we have to work on the things so we know at the very end you have what you should be working on. And also, once you achieve those, you will have a good result. Okay? So that is a process. So Kendo is about that, I think. If you know what I mean, it's the process. And also, if you can get them before they launch their strikes, you don't have to even fight. So I think that is, you can, Kodachi number 3. Actually, the Kodachi is controlling Uchitachi. If you think about it, you open your men, all right, 1, 2, 3, get close, and then your Uchitachi is, of course, striking your men because it's wide open, right? And you do suriage, surikomi, suriotoshi, all right? And then door is wide open, so your opponent, Uchitachi, is striking your door, and surinagashi, surikomi, and you lock your opponent's hand and sword. So he can't do anything, or she can't do anything. Right? You don't have to hurt him or her, Uchitachi, and you just take Zanshin. Okay, you are totally in control. I think that is really, the secret of Kendo. Hopefully, I kind of understand, just to understand. Okay, I can't do it perfectly yet, of course, but it's something I realized through my training. So I wanted to share it. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you in the next podcast. I would like to send special thanks to Patrons for their constant support through patreons.com/Kendo For Life.